years, it only produced wine for daily domestic drinking. But in the past 2 decades, there's been a revolution in the young Argentine wine industry. Quality exports have put it on the global map. America's Now contributing correspondent Daniel Schweimler reports from the growing region of Mendoza, which now produces some of the best in the world.
The Malbec grape. It's rich, dark and juicy. Thin-skinned, it needs intense heat during the day and cool nights to thrive. And it thrives here in loose sandy soil in the foothills of the Andes Mountains in the western Argentine province of Mendoza. Wine grower Marcelo Aliciardi says it's a passion that never dies.
It really is a passion. This is one of the few professions in which you can work the whole year and lose it all in 2 minutes because of a hailstorm or a massive freeze. Then continue working the next day with the same passion and the same strength.
It's that passion you witness throughout the industry. This is not just business. This is love. Argentina has long been a wine producer, but it was mostly for domestic consumption, and most would agree it wasn't very good. But that has changed, says wine writer Ian Mount.
The smart local winemakers realized that they had to find a new market or die. And so they began to look at exterior markets, at the U.S. And now China. The problem was that the wines they made here were not very good because they had a captive local market. So they had to totally change the profile of their wines and make them for a different palate, for an international palate that wanted more fruit, less sort of over-oxidized flavors that were like sherry.
A few key producers discovered the potential of the Malbec grape, and exports to the United States, Europe, Brazil and other countries have grown rapidly year on year. 5 million cases worth $160 million were exported in the first 3 months of last year. It's not just reasonably priced, it's quality too, explains Bodega Forletti manager Mark Weiss.
Definitely, it's a lot more, I think it's slightly lighter, not as much body as the other wines, but at the same time it's more elegant. It's very smooth, very, as Gabriela said, easy drinkable. So, and that's the interesting part, I think. You know, all the 3 wines are Malbec from this area actually, but they're totally different wines. So that's where the winemaker comes in. That's where technology comes in.
There has been massive investment in the Mendoza region, with the major producers coming not just from Argentina, but moving in from other wine-producing countries and beyond. The market is fiercely competitive, and the smaller producers find that simply making a quality wine is not always enough. Gabriela Ferlotti's vineyard has been in her family for generations.
One aspect is the economic one, which guarantees producers a minimum price which helps make the industry sustainable. But at the same time, it gives us a feeling of belonging, of integration. In our case, we're an association of small producers, and as we integrate, we share which is more important than the final product.
The bottles from the Forlotti Bodega carry the Fair Trade label, which means that they've been certified for the ethical way in which they produce their wine, from their treatment of workers to traditional production methods.
Por supuesto que se sienten mucho mejor, mucho más.
Better served in the sense that part of their earnings go towards things that aren't covered. And you see that in the happiness of the workers. That happiness we see in the way they work, the way they participate in the same organization.
Se ve en el ánimo de la gente, muy buen ánimo.
Organic wine, fair trade wine, and Malbec may be the grape that rules in Mendoza. But there are others. Bornada, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah and Tempranillo, to name just a few. The wine industry has been a huge and rapid success in Argentina's often very difficult economy, not just here in Mendoza, but around the world. It's a market where quality counts, and the connoisseurs, some of the most knowledgeable and discerning that you'll find anywhere, always difficult to please. Salud. There is a sense throughout Mendoza and the rest of Argentina that the wine industry, riding on the back of the Malbec boom, has only just begun. There are plenty of producers and wine connoisseurs drinking to that.
Thanks to Daniel Schweimler for that report. Well, that's it for us. Be sure to find us on the web at cctv-america.com. Again, that is cctv-america.com. And please join us again next week for another edition of America's Now. See you then.